Good afternoon, Nasdaq followers, and welcome to a special episode of Behind the Bell. I'm your host, Janet Chanchal, and I work for Nasdaq's Office of the General Counsel. We are coming to you live from Times Square, where Blacks at Microsoft, also known as BAM, is ringing the bell for a third consecutive year in honor of Black History Month. BAM is the company-sponsored employee network dedicated to supporting the continued growth of Black employees at Microsoft. Joining me on set today are Melinda Turner, Emma Quaten, Takesha Thomas, and Emmeline Jean. All members of the BAM team. Thank you, ladies, for being here.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Okay, let's get right into it. Melinda, can you tell me what BAM's role is at Microsoft and why you think that it is important?
I think that Blacks at Microsoft, or really any employee resource group for that matter, is really meant to help transform Microsoft's culture into one that is built on empathy and inclusion. Mm-hmm. BAM specifically is so important to the employee experience. For example, we recently polled our members, and overwhelmingly our members said that, hey, our view of Microsoft, our perception of Microsoft as a place where we can achieve our career goals is actually better because of BAM. Mm-hmm. And that's incredibly, incredibly important. And that's important because BAM is creating an environment, it's creating and building a sense of community where we can show up and be our authentic selves. And I always say that it's hard to be your best if you can't be yourself. And so BAM creates an environment where we can show up and do our best work. And I really think that's what the objective of BAM is and why we're so important to the culture.
That's remarkable. Thank you for that. Okay, so Emma, please tell us what is top of mind for BAM 2020.
All right. For me, what's top of mind for Blacks at Microsoft in 2020, for me, it's around, let me say, dopeness 2.0, and so taking it to the next level. So my personal opinion, Blacks at Microsoft and the Black community is dopeness. I do think we are the largest GDP in the world, and so really fostering that and making sure that we take it to the next level. I think we have set ourselves up for success, and so what does it look like to activate it in terms of leadership, in terms of allies, in terms of community? So not just in Microsoft's walls, but externally to Microsoft's walls, and doing bigger and better. That's kind of top of mind. I have to talk about it given the election year. I think we need to be collective as a community and make sure that we are active, right? And so if you're going to talk about it, be about it, right? So if you're going to talk about what you do like and what you don't like, make sure you actually follow that up with action. Mm-hmm. Making sure that we have good synergy between Microsoft and BAM. I have to say this plug, Satya and his leadership team have given us the permission to really bring our authentic selves and for BAM to thrive. And one reason that BAM is thriving is because of the company that we work in. And so what are we doing with that opportunity to extend it, of course, inside of Microsoft, but outside of Microsoft? That's top of mind for me for BAM. And that shows up in multiple ways. It shows up in our partnerships with Black Girls Code and NSBE and National Black. It shows up in our Give campaign. It shows up in scholarships. And so really taking it to the next level and making sure that in 2020, we see 2020 clearly to our vision.
Wow. That's a very good goal.
Thank you.
And I like the way that you introduced that.
Thank you.
So Takesha, since we're kicking off Black History Month, how does BAM celebrate and include others at Microsoft?
So I'm kind of happy you asked that because we were here last year and we talked a lot about us being the first org at Microsoft and how we were so excited about celebrating our 30th year, but we didn't really get into programming. So I can talk about it both regionally and nationally. So regionally, we do a lot of programs. So last year we did a theme that was called Allyship Through Education. So we basically brought in allies by teaching them things about our different communities. So we did an African American history class 101. We brought them to see The Hate U Give and talked about police brutality and tougher topics in order to educate people, to bring them closer and understand a little bit more about what our community goes through. The second year we're doing this now, we're doing empowerment. So what are we doing? We're empowering our community through financial literacy classes this year. We're teaching people how to be empowered to hustle, creating side jobs and generational additional income for ourselves and then our future generations. And so when we think about including others in that, we do it in a couple of ways. One, BAM was the first ERG, so now we have, 7 that are national. So we created a space not only for ourselves, but for others to make sure that they have the space and time to voice their opinions as well. And then the second way is through allyship, right? So we have a company that affords us the opportunity to have the verbiage and the language around allyship, but what we at BAM focus on is how we activate that allyship and how do we get people to actually do things on behalf of the community. And then the last way I would say is through understanding intersectionality. So if you're a member of BAM, you can belong to multiple different ERGs. So you could be a Black woman who's served in the military, for example. That's the type of person that we want on our panels, so that she can say, okay, I'm in BAM, I'm on this panel, come and join us. Then you have the women's group. Hey women, there's a lot of us, we're all diverse, come watch me on this panel. That's a built-in ally. And then she could do the same for each of the different ERGs that she belongs to. So that's really the way that we look at inclusion and including others while also educating them on behalf of our community.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing. And that's actually a really good segue to go into. Emmeline, would you share your thoughts on the significance of being a Black woman in a leadership role?
Definitely. First, I want to start off by saying representation matters.
Yeah.
And another thing is just I am very honored to be on a stage where you have worldwide leadership being 2 Black women, New York, New Jersey, BAM chapter being 2 Black women, something that you don't see on a regular basis. And I'm very honored to be on the stage right now. But to go back to your question, I think it's extremely important. When you go out into the world and you see people in different leadership positions, and when you are a young Black woman and you see no one that looks like you, it almost caps your dreams. It gives you a limit to where you can go. So when you see Black women becoming leaders, you have your Michelle Obamas, your Oprahs, your Kamala Harris, everyone before them in the past and the present who've really made an impact and became Black female leaders. It gives you that opportunity, like, I can make it, I can do that. I can see beyond the people that can't see things for myself. So when we look at empowering, encouraging Black women, when we have Black Girls Code and just different events within just our local chapter, I always feel extremely humbled and honored to have these women, to see us, even though we're just, leaders within BAM right now. We are leaders in our own right from being at Microsoft, for pushing through, and they're able to see that and hopefully come away feeling empowered, inspired. They want to be leaders. They have no caps on their dreams. So every day when I come into work, I come in with that mindset of hopefully one day that person behind me is seeing farther than I could see for myself. So it just helps to push me through it, and it's an amazing feeling, and I'm so honored, like I said before, to be amongst such great, talented women.
Wow, I can really sense the passion in this, and you guys are a great group. I want to thank you ladies again so much for joining us today to kick off Black History Month with us. And Nasdaq followers, please stay tuned for more updates from our closing bell, and we're signing off from Nasdaq's market site. Thank you ladies again.
Thanks, Janet.